Deep within an inescapable labyrinth lived one of the most terrifying creatures of Greek mythology. Half man, half bull. A creature so dangerous that it was locked in a gigantic prison so that no one could ever escape. This was the terrible Minotaur. But the story of this monster begins long before its birth, and involves gods, kings, betrayal, and a terrible curse. It all began on the powerful island of Crete, ruled by King Minos. Minos was vying for the island's throne and needed to prove to the people that the gods were on his side. So he made a request to the god of the seas, Poseidon. If the god truly supported him as king, he should send a sign. Poseidon answered the request. From the depths of the ocean emerged a magnificent animal, a gigantic white bull. The agreement was simple. Minos would sacrifice the bull in honor of the god. But upon seeing the animal, the king decided to deceive Poseidon. Instead of sacrificing the sacred bull, he kept the animal and sacrificed another in its place. The gods noticed the betrayal, and Poseidon decided to take revenge. As punishment, Poseidon cast a curse upon Pasiphae, wife of Minos. Suddenly, she was overcome by an uncontrollable desire for the sacred bull. Desperate, she sought help from the inventor Daedalus. Daedalus built an ingenious wooden structure in the shape of a cow so that Pasiphae could approach the animal. From that union, a horrible creature was born, a being with the body of a man and the head of a bull. Thus was born the Minotaur. King Minos was horrified by the monster. The Minotaur grew rapidly and revealed a terrible hunger for human flesh. To hide the creature, Minos ordered Daedalus to build a prison impossible to escape. Thus was born the legendary labyrinth of Crete. The labyrinth was composed of endless corridors, passages that crossed in all directions, false doors, and paths that always led back to the same place. Some corridors ended in dead ends, others led to completely dark rooms. It was a place designed so that no one could find the way out. In the center of that labyrinth lived the Minotaur. Meanwhile, the city of Athens was experiencing a time of great tension and sadness. The people were still trying to recover from political difficulties and disputes between kingdoms when a tragic event completely changed the relationship between Athens and the powerful island of Crete. One day, the son of King Minos, ruler of Crete, visited Athens. He was known for his courage and for participating in competitions and challenges, as was common among young nobles of the time. During his stay in the city, however, something terrible happened. The young man died unexpectedly. Some said it was an accident, others believed that envy or rivalry was involved. Regardless of the cause, the news quickly reached Crete. When Minos learned of his son's death, he was overcome with grief and anger. Convinced that Athens was responsible for what had happened, he decided to take revenge. The king gathered his powerful army and declared war on Athens. The war was hard and brought suffering to both sides, but Crete was a very strong naval and military power. Its forces were organized and well-trained. After several battles, Athens was ultimately defeated. The city, weakened and unable to continue fighting, was forced to accept the demands imposed by Minos. But the king of Crete didn't just want victory, he wanted a punishment that would be remembered for generations. Thus, Minos established a cruel and terrifying condition. Every 9 years, Athens would have to send 7 young men and 7 young women to Crete. They would be chosen from among the city's children and taken on a ship to the island. Upon arriving in Crete, these young people would be led to the labyrinth built by Daedalus, a gigantic and confusing structure so large that no one could find their way out after entering. Inside that labyrinth lived a terrible creature, the Minotaur, a monster with the body of a man and the head of a bull, enormous, strong, and hungry. The young Athenians were thrown inside unarmed and without a chance of escape. Lost in the dark and endless corridors, they ended up being hunted by the Minotaur, who roamed the labyrinth as the absolute master of that place. One by one, they were found and devoured by the creature. For many years, this punishment filled the people of Athens with fear and sorrow. Every time the time for tribute arrived, families wept as they watched their children being led to an almost certain fate of death. It seemed that no one could put an end to that terrible obligation, until a young hero named Theseus decided to face his fate and challenge the Minotaur himself. For years, this terrible tribute continued, until a hero decided to end that horror. That hero was the Prince of Athens, Theseus. Determined to save his people, he volunteered to enter the labyrinth and kill the monster. Upon arriving in Crete, Theseus caught the attention of Ariadne, daughter of King Minos. She fell in love with the hero and decided to help him. Ariadne gave Theseus a sword and a ball of thread. Theseus approached the entrance of the labyrinth, his heart racing but his mind steady. Before entering, he took the ball of thread he had received and carefully tied its end to the large stone door. He knew that thread was his only guarantee of finding his way back. He took a deep breath and took his first step into the darkness. The interior of the labyrinth was cold and silent. The stone walls were high and damp, and the corridors seemed to multiply in every direction. As he advanced, Theseus slowly unwound the thread, leaving it stretched across the floor to mark the way back. Each step echoed through the empty labyrinth, and sometimes he had the sensation of hearing something moving in the distance. The corridors were confusing, full of curves and narrow passages. At some points, the hero needed to stop and observe carefully before deciding which way to go. The smell of the place was heavy, and the silence seemed to hide something terrible. Even so, Theseus continued to advance, determined to fulfill his mission. After traversing many corridors and stone rooms, he finally reached a large chamber in the center of the labyrinth. The air there was warmer, and there were deep marks on the walls and floor, as if something enormous lived in that place. Then he heard a sound. A deep and terrifying roar echoed through the chamber. From the shadows emerged the creature everyone feared, the Minotaur. Its body was gigantic and muscular, like that of a powerful man, but its head was that of a huge bull, with curved horns and furious eyes. It breathed violently and stamped its hooves on the stone floor, ready to attack. The battle began brutally. The Minotaur advanced with all its might, trying to crush Theseus against the walls of the labyrinth. The impact of its steps made the ground tremble, but Theseus was agile and alert. He quickly dodged the monster's attacks, looking for an opportunity to counterattack. The combat was long and fierce. At various points it seemed the Minotaur would gain the upper hand, for its strength was immense. Still, Theseus did not give up. He remembered the people who had been sacrificed in that place and the promise he had made. At a crucial moment, when the monster charged again in all its fury, Theseus managed to dodge and attacked with courage. After an intense and dangerous fight, the hero finally managed to defeat the Minotaur. The creature's roar echoed through the chamber for the last time, and then silence filled the labyrinth. Tired but victorious, Theseus looked around. The monster that terrorized Crete had been defeated. Now only one thing remained: follow the thread and find his way back out of the labyrinth. With the monster defeated, Theseus followed the thread left behind. That's how he managed to find his way out of the labyrinth. For the first time in many years, the terror of the Minotaur had come to an end. Thus ended the story of the terrible Minotaur. A creature born of a curse, hidden in an impossible labyrinth and defeated by a hero who dared to face destiny. But the Minotaur was just one of the many creatures of mythology. And many other stories are still waiting to be told here on the channel.